In today's short lesson, I want to give a little bit of instruction to those of you who are having a little bit of trouble with bar chords. I know it's the bane of a lot of beginners' existence, some intermediate players too, just trying to move around on them. So I'm not going to show you exactly how to play them, but I'm going to take you to the step 2. Assuming that you've already been able to form a bar chord, now step 2 is you got to learn to go back and forth from one bar chord to another. Lots of songs require that. So in this lesson, bar chord transitions. Hey, how you doing? This is Tony from 6 String Corner, and here is the lesson on bar chord transitions. And it's a really short lesson, but I think it's a very important one for those of you that are struggling to move your fingers around to make the bar chords sound really, really good. This one's called the zigzag bar chord pattern. So I'm going to do 2 bar chord forms. This one right here, okay, which is an F major bar chord, sometimes referred to as the E shape. And the other one that I'm going to use is with the root note on the A string, this B minor, sometimes known as the A minor shape. And if you notice, they're both very similar. The fingers are formed very much the same way. So here's how you do the exercise. Understand that when you do these 2 bar chord forms, the pointer finger is residing on the root note, which is the name of the chord. In other words, this pointer finger right here is pressing on the F, and there's our F major bar chord. When I did the B minor, our pointer finger is pointing right here on the B note. And the way the zigzag pattern goes is the pointer finger is going to move in a zigzaggy fashion down the neck. So it's going to be like this to F, then up here to B, which moves up on the next fret, next string, back down to the lower string, the G, back up to the C sharp, down to the A, right here, and we move up and down these lower 2 strings. All right, that's how the root note is going to go. So now we form the chord. Here's the F chord, and we take all the fingers and we move it up, down a fret and up a string to form the B minor, and then we go down a string and up a fret to the 3rd fret to form a G major, and then we go to a C sharp. So how it's going to look is just like this. Take it all to that 12th fret on the A string, that's an A minor, and then we're going to descend. So then after the A minor, I go down here to the E major, pointer finger is on the 12th fret on the 6th string, and then we go in a backwards zigzag pattern. So here's the E major, and the pointer finger is on the 11th fret A string, which is an A flat minor, and then we back it down here to a D major with the pointer finger on the 10th fret, lowest string, which is the 6th string, back up to this F sharp minor, down to a C major, and all the way down. And you'll end on this B flat minor, which is the pointer finger here on the 1st fret on the A string. So the whole exercise looks like this. Couple things to know about this. You have to move all your fingers at the same time. None of this. And then forming our fingers and going to the next. And then, oh wait, I gotta do this. What you have to work at is getting from one chord to the next immediately. Because in between the beats of a song, you don't really have time to be forming the chord. You need to work on getting your hand, boom, right there. Keep the hand in the same form. And just shift up and down on the strings and down on the frets. Now, the second thing is you want to make sure that all the notes in the chord sound clear. So especially if you're a beginner and you're just starting to work on this, what you want to do is not strum it, pick the notes individually to make sure you can hear each individual note. The reason you do that is sometimes you may have a dead note on one of these chords, and if you just strum it, you might not hear it right away. Like that, you might think that sounds good, but it really doesn't. And then work your hands there and your fingers to make sure you get that chord to sound good, and then you move on. So make sure that you pick each individual note up and down. Try it to a metronome. Once you got this thing good, you set it to a metronome on each click. Depending on how fast or slow you can do this, that's when you change the chord. So here I have the metronome set at 90. Set it at whatever tempo feels good to you. And play it just like this. That's your lesson for today, a bar chord transition exercise called the zigzag pattern. I hope this works out for you. Thanks a lot and rock on.